Hello and welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about something very interesting, and this is about just a debate in a sense that could there be something called as a mini PhD? And what do I mean by mini PhD? Right? A mini PhD, what I think is like an experience program of what a real PhD entails. So a lot of students, when they enter into a PhD program, they do not have a good understanding of what is required or how much effort is needed to pursue a PhD. Many of them just feel like, oh, I need to do PhD. I need to have the doctor title next to me and next to my name, and which is why I want to do a PhD. But undertaking a PhD is a fairly demanding exercise, right? So you need to get a very good understanding of what is actually involved. But there isn't anything currently that I know of where you can enroll into a program and that tells you what the PhD is about and gives you an experience of what it is like to do a PhD. Because I feel that having such an experience will be very essential for making the right decision of whether a PhD is for you or not. Typically, what I have seen happens is people qualify for doing a PhD and they start their PhD and then they realize that, oh, this is not really for me. And halfway through, they give up and then they move out. And then they have wasted year and a half, sometimes 2 years of their degree, of their time, of their life in pursuing PhD. But I feel that if there would have been some form of training or coaching that tells students what really takes for completing a PhD, and if they can have a small experience of what it could be working as a PhD scholar. So that is the topic that I want to talk about today. So what I do not have too many slides to discuss on this, in fact, but what I have is what is it that you can what is currently out there that you can try to see whether a PhD is something you want to do. But there is no exactly there is no program or a course that I'm talking about. But if it were there, if such a course was there, I think it would be very useful because you could get a first-hand experience of how you can what effort is needed to pursue a PhD. So what I have here is when I searched online to see if there was anything like this, like a pre-PhD or a PhD preview kind of a program or a PhD experience program to see whether I can join that course and understand what this whole PhD is all about. Right, but I could not find anything really that what I was looking for. But these are some of the things that came up when I was looking for this thing, right? So there were some pre-PhD workshops that are organized, and these are short workshops, maybe a day, 1 day long, 2 day long, where probably the focus is more on explaining what the PhD is about. But an explanation is much different than actually experiencing, right? Explanation is different from experiencing. So I can explain, how to walk if you cannot walk, right? If you're a baby, I can explain you how to walk and how you take first step and how you take the second step and so on and so forth. But experience is actually trying to walk. Yeah. And it could be swimming, it could be cycling, it could be any other sport. Yeah. So if there was there was a option where you could kind of experience PhD, maybe do a small research project, and that small research project gives you an idea of what the real PhD is going to be. Yeah. So, but there is nothing like that as such. But these are some of the options that you can try and experience whether this is the PhD is right for you or not. Some universities organize summer research programs where you get to work on a short duration, maybe 2 weeks program, or sometimes it is 4 weeks program, where you will be doing research on a specific topic, researching it, getting some results and documenting all your research findings. So that gives you a bit of a idea, of what would it be like if it was to be made even bigger. The other option is you can try research internships. Many a times companies invite candidates to apply for research internships, and in this case, the company has identified a specific problem that they want to be that they need researching. Yeah, you go there, you research that problem, find out what are the different ways to solve the problem, and then you solve it. And then that small research internships will also give you a flavor of what a bigger PhD will look like, and whether that experience that you get on working on a research project, if that excites you, if you are eager to do even more, then PhD would be suitable for you. But having these small short experiences is going to be the key in making the right decision of whether you need a PhD or not. Next is there could be some online courses or MOOCs that talk about a PhD, what the PhD is about. It is again explaining the PhD, what are the different stages of PhD, how to best do PhD, and so on and so forth. But again, these do not give you the experience of what is needed during your PhD. Yeah. The other thing is mentorship programs. You can go and talk to your professor and ask them, if you are considering to do a PhD, what would their advice be? This is important because they are rightly positioned to kind of give you that advice, because they probably would have seen a lot of other PhDs students that would have supervised. Like me myself, I have supervised over 25 PhDs here in Australia. So I know when students come and talk to me, that kind of questions they ask, I can get a feel whether whether the student is suitable for as a PhD candidate or not. So that thing is very useful for both sides, both for the student who's aiming to do a PhD, but also for the supervisor who has to work with the student for 3 or more years during their PhD program. So this mentorship and this discussion with somebody with experience is essential to make. So given that there is no such course at the moment which gives you a PhD experience, these are some of the options that you can try. Maybe also you can also attend some research methodology workshops. This workshop will teach you all the different research methods that you may have to apply during your research. And when you listen to that, and when you understand what is needed in completing a PhD, the hard work, the effort, the intensity that is needed to identify a problem, find the right methodology, and to solve that. This research methodology workshops will give you some bit of guidance on that front. And lastly, I've got this point on career planning. And the reason I added this in career planning is you have to think whether your PhD is whether doing a PhD is the right decision for your career, depending upon where or what you want to work. Yeah. So if you are currently employed, currently working, or if you have your business, does doing a PhD add any significant value? And if it is yes, it does add substantial value, then definitely go and do the PhD. But if you're not sure of what value does PhD bring to your career or to your current business, I think you may have to rethink on that and get as much advice that you can get before deciding to begin your PhD. Yeah, because I do not want you to start your PhD and then realize that, oh, this is not really for me. And it happens, and I've seen it happen on many times. So that is all in today's session. That is what I wanted to talk about, to just open up this conversation. And please do tell me that if this kind of a course would be relevant or helpful, and for you to make up the decision on whether to do a PhD or not. All right, that's all in today's session. Have a nice good evening and a nice weekend. Take care. Bye.